gentlemen, and welcome to the semi-final round of the Season 3 World Championships. I'm EpicSkillshot coming to you live from the main stage here at the Galen Center in downtown Los Angeles, California. Are you guys excited? Today, of course, in our first semifinal, SKTT1 takes on Najin Blacksword to see which Korean team we'll be seeing in the championship game and who will battle it out for a chance at the Season 3 title and the Summoners Cup. But for now, it's time to get acquainted with our starting lineup, starting with the lovely gentleman at the caster desk.
Thanks a lot, Shocks. I'm Joe Miller, and calling tonight's best of 5 semi-final series here with me tonight is Trevor Quickshot Henry and the lovely Sam Kobe Hartman Kendall.
Thank you, Joe. Well, before we get to our first game between Najin Blacksword and SKT, let's send it across to the massive arena to Riv and the guys over at the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Quickshot. I am Rivington Bislin III, and holding it down at the analyst desk with me is none other than David Freak Turley. Plus, joining us again for the semifinals, it's the Trinity Force of insightful and analysis, OG and Caster Monte Cristo, the Evil Geniuses Crepo, and Counter Logic Gaming's Double Lift. But before we dive into tonight's semifinal series, let's take a look back at Tuesday's games, starting with the highlights from SK Telecom's dominating performance. Day 2 of the Season 3 World Championship quarterfinals kicked off with the red-hot SKT1 taking on the Gamma Bears from Taiwan. SKTT1 jumped out to an early lead in Game 1 behind Bengi's pressure from the jungle.
Stays caught between a rock and a hard place. He may be able to pick up first, but Impact gets away. That's a flash. Flash for flash. Bengi lands the killing blow, securing it for SKT.
Bengi continued to rack up the kills, but here he lets Faker get in on the action.
Maple will not see this coming either.
Well, we'll wait for the Assault and Battery. Is going to follow in. Here comes Faker. Maple tries to get away. He is going to get taken down. And that Assault and Battery just locking up Castanen for too long. Not even he could escape it.
SKTT1 walked their way into Gamma Bear's base to secure the victory in Game 1.
Wins is going to be the second kill of the fighters. Now they turn onto Sword Art. That's going to be a triple kill for Piglet. SK Telecom all of a sudden decide to win a team fight, decide to close the game out, and the Gamma Bears are going to drop 0-1 in this best of 3 series.
And the Bengi show continued in Game 2.
Bengi is sticking to him. Sonic Wave, can it catch? That is the question. It does! He follows up. Sword Art's in trouble, 100 HP. The Volatile Spiderling goes down. The Cocoon does not connect.
This could be 3.
Gets a safe arch shield. We do see the Sonic Wave gets dodged by the Repel, and that's a 3-for-0 in favor of SKT.
The Gamma Bears tried to play catch-up, but you can't catch a flippin' ninja.
He taunts out over the wall. Feint is up. He's got a couple hundred hit points, 380. Still taking everybody on a walk. Just a matter of time before they close him down as Maple is joining from the side. The thing is, how long do they stand? He's still alive! Sonic Wave comes in. Impact runs! Impact is not dead!
SKTT1 would roll to a convincing series win to set up an all-Korean semifinals versus Najin Blacksword.
Now Stake will be the next one to fall. Who gets the kill credit? It's Faker as Piglet picks up his second. Now Wins is getting dropped down as Sword Art in the background is crushed. A clean ace. SK Telecom T1 will advance to face Najin Blacksword in the semifinals.
Incredibly well played game by the Korean team, convincing 2-0 victory.
The last match of the quarterfinals pitted 2 Chinese rivals against each other, as OMG battled Royal Club for the last remaining semifinals berth. And as expected, both teams came out swinging.
Look how low Tabe's gone. Gets knocked up. Cool now, unstoppable as he finishes off that kill. Lovelin goes low. He manages to get back, but the flash in from Uzi will secure them one back. And it's now a 2-for-1 fight. There's Ace in the hole.
Right back in.
Going, dives to the back line, but he will fall. There's the charm onto Uzi. He's going to cleanse. San going for
Uzi's still alive.
Doesn't get any of them as the Sonya's used there by White. Crazy turnaround again.
With OMG's Go-Going pushing their inhibitor, Royal made the decision to secure the Baron.
Classic question here. Is a Baron worth an inhibitor?
For Royal, it was worth. And they would go on to pick up the Game 1 win.
There is a flash. Tibbers coming in, not really doing what they would have hoped from it. And Royal back away to the steps. There's the Stranglethorns going down as White gets into the base. There's the Ace in the hole. Uzi gonna pick that one up. That's already 1 man down. Can they finish off the tower? Charm landed onto Godlike. He's at less than half. As Go-Going dives into the back. Lee Sin kicks the 3 of them in.
Royal is still pushing in. They've got the Baron, and they're making their play.
This is going to be game number 1, going over to Royal Club.
They were so excited, they were falling out of their chairs by the end of that one. What an insane ending.
With a 1-0 lead in the series, Royal kept their foot on the gas in Game 2.
Wow, Tabe going very low, but cool. He's going to get burst out from this one. Uzi picks up that kill. Whites is going to finish on Big Pomelo, no problem. And now San, he's a dead man. Uzi going to get the finish on that to get a double kill.
Another beautiful crescendo from Tabe would give Royal an ace from out of nowhere.
There's a 3-man crescendo coming in as well. Tabe picks up a kill, but they're only going one way right now. San taking tons of damage there as he falls. They're still chasing here as well. Lovely. Can he get away from this one? Tumble comes down, and that's a triple kill for the Vayne.
Royal's Uzi lived up to all of the hype, and he carried his team past their rivals and into a semi-final showdown versus Fnatic.
Uzi is coming in from the backside. Surprise! Here comes the Vayne. Kill for White. San's not going to escape this one. They focus down Uzi, but look at him. He's still alive. He's still surviving. He stays alive. Ace for Royal Club. What an amazing fight coming out of Uzi.
God!
This is going to be a win for Royal Club. They are going to take down their Chinese rivals, and you can see exactly what it means to Royal Club.
They are longtime rivals from the Chinese LPL. They beat them 3 times in a row to gain that #1 seed, and then with that bye into the quarterfinals, they beat them twice more in a row to move on. Well deserved by Royal.
And with all those matches keeping you on the edge of your seat, 41 group stage matches and 4 quarterfinal series, let's check out the Season 3 World Championship bracket as it stands now. We're down to the final 4 teams in the top semifinal showdown. It's tonight's matchup, Korea's SKTT1 versus Najin Black Sword.
While in the lower half of the bracket, it's Saturday's best-of-5 battle between China's Royal Club and Europe's Fnatic.
All right, gentlemen, so coming into tonight, Najin Black Sword is actually the higher seed, as we've done our homework here. They got the most circuit points in Korea during their Season 3 and earned the bye into the quarterfinals. Now, the question is, even though they took the region's top spot, are they a team that is better than SKT? Freak, what are you thinking?
It's a tough thing to call because SKT have done more in the recent past. They just won Champion Summer, so they're kind of the favorite coming in. But there's 2 topics I want to broach as far as this matchup is concerned. The first of all is individual skill differences, because Prey and Kane for Najin's Sword are really, really, really good. And they're going to be better than their opponents here. But on the other side, SKT's got Faker, and I think we've talked about him enough throughout the tournament. Faker, no one really stands a match for him in the 1v1. The other topic to talk about, though, is strategic differences, because we've seen SKT have a much cleaner mid-game and do a better job of closing out games than Najin's Sword.
Yeah, that's right. And with Najin's Sword, you know, the way they've won their games has been they get a huge advantage in that early laning phase, but they don't look as solid in terms of their mid-game strategy. They don't look as solid in terms of their strategy and team composition. We've commented on it before. They seem a little weird, maybe lacking a little bit of synergy right there. But for me, I really want to see the top lane matchup here because Impact has come such a long way. Starting out as more of a tanky player, he used to be a support player, moved up to that top lane, and he's developed into a carry top laner a lot like Expression. So for me, we haven't seen these teams play since Champion Spring, so it's been months and months and months, and I want to see how that development really affects him.
Yeah, to me, SKTT1's bot lane, obviously not as good as Prey and Kane as they've shown during this tournament, but Faker is going to crush Nogna in my opinion. And Impact and Bengi they've showed so much synergy, especially in the quarterfinals when they played Gamma Bears. You saw those sneaky ganks. Bengi and Impact just play so well together. I don't really see Watch and Expression have that kind of like tag team just make those plays together.
Yeah, I think that's what set both teams apart. There's synergy with their jungle, because many people consider Watch a slightly better jungle than Bengi, but Bengi does really well with Faker. Who's going to stop Bengi and Faker? Probably nobody. And then Bengi and Impact, as he said, to do really well together as well. So, and aside from that, I just want to point on that Najin Black Sword actually did play in Winter, OGN, and they did a lot of 3v1 dives there. That's actually where SKT1 was lacking a lot in the earlier stages of the group.
Mani, final thoughts?
Yeah, we see that coming out of Najin's Sword, and yes, they're less of a dive-oriented team, but they're still capable of doing it. And notably, Expression, when he was on the sister team, Najin Shield, had to play against that dive a lot. And for me, out of all the Korean teams coming in, he's had the most safe play in those 2v1 situations, because you can tell he knows the limits of the dive and is constantly watching out for it, unlike some of the other Korean top laners that we've seen here.
And that's what Najin Black Sword will have to do, get an early lead in the early game and extend that into mid-game, because if you go even against SKTT1, once the mid-game pushing starts and the rotations start happening, yeah, you find yourself losing the game really quick.
Right, in double lift?
And I just have to expect SKTT1 to 2v1, because if they're dual lane 2v2s against Prey and Kane, which are so aggressive, they're probably going to lose. I think SKTT1 is going to 2v1, and they just have to play the 2v1 game, even though apparently Sword has a better 2v1 game.
All right, well, you gentlemen have weighed in with your thoughts. It's now time for that part of the show that Doublelift hates more than giving up his farm. It's time to choose the winners of tonight's matchup. Before we get to our picks, let's take a look at the standings where everybody is sitting right now. Mani is in first with an impressive mark of 37-11, with the casters, Crepo, and the viewers just 1 point behind. And finally, sitting at the end of the standings and the end of the desk is our Doublelift.
I'm the best.
Doublelift, so even though you're 3 games behind your coach right now, because of the 2 semifinals coming up here are going to be worth more, as long as you pick a different team than Monty, by the end of the night, you could be tied. So there's a little bit of logic.
Or behind.
Or behind.
I'm going to win, dude. I'm going to win.
All right, gentlemen, it's time to lock in your picks. SK Telecom T1 or Najin Black Sword. Which one of these 2 teams will be playing for the Summoners Cup next week? Freak?
For me, it's SKT. I think they come through with a bit more experience. They've been doing sort of better overall. And I think as long as they can get by some early deficits, if that even happens, then they'll just close out the games.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking SK Telecom T1 as well. But it's worth remembering that in their last 3 best-of-5s, they have consistently dropped either the first or the first 2 games. And so I expect it to be a 3-1 with Najin Sword taking the first one. They're a team of adjustments. They can lose a game, they don't go on tilt, they come back, adjust their strategy, and then sweep their opponents. So they're a very strong team. We've all seen it, but I think Najin Sword probably has a few tricks tonight.
That's funny. It's because it's almost the mentality that TPA had coming in last year. If we lose game 1, we'll definitely get the next ones knowing what they can bring out. You know, moving down the line, Doublelift?
Yeah, and I agree with Monty. I think SKT was going to take this because they've ramped up this entire tournament. You saw them early in the group stage. They lost to OMG. They adapt immediately. The next time they play OMG, they take a 13-minute inhibitor. Then they play against Gamma Bears. The first game's kind of slow. The next game's a complete stomp. These guys know how to download their opponents and play accordingly. They have great coordination, great play calling. They're just a really strong team.
Well, I agree with both these master-level analysts.
What about me?
And Freak. And I think yeah, SKT has an edge over Sword, especially if you look at the early game. They've been improving their 3v1 dives. They've improving their early mistakes. And once mid-game hits, if Uzi isn't too fed, or if their bot lane isn't Prey and Kane aren't too fed rather, then I definitely see SKT taking it.
All right, with the analyst desk trending towards SKT, it's now your chance, the viewers, to turn and try and take back the top spot in the standings. Head over to lolesports.com and vote for the